Just trying to look at some of the other deals.
Those are refilled.
You know, I haven't much name on public cards, so. TV, I use my card. Not a good.
Good, how are you?
Got one of those in there.
It's all live feed today.
You want water? I'll get you one, Todd. You want water, Todd?
I was on there.
Todd, you're out of luck.
I'll take nothing then.
I was one of them. Did a good job.
Brian took the other mini Coke.
Your granddaughter.
They usually, but he
Right.
slam them. You were here when I slammed them.
Big answers.
Right.
Can I pick and choose your highlights?
Hi.
Yep.
Three gulps and I'm almost done.
Back is going.
Had
You way too big clothes lately. There you go.
I'm like, could you just roll that up once? And then it looks like it's.
He's looking for the growth spurt. Right now, it's more this than
That's how my younger daughter was. And I feel like she's grown up now, and so she's figured out.
I just think it, I mean, happens around like 12, 13, 14. Yeah. But he'll be taller than Bobby. But Bobby, I think, will always
neither
be
did mine. So,
pulled out. Keeps insisting on wearing it.
see if I can knock this over today too. The towel ready? Okay.
Leg open, they're slim. Like slim. Finally, he's wearing size 7. But I'm like, how is he doing this? And they're tight. They're super big.
You're gonna hear that?
And yeah, they're like that much too short.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good. Those in Vermont.
Yeah. Well,
To some extent.
to some extent. They'd wear athletic pants every day. Or like, enough. If you have gym, maybe.
Well, that would get me through low. Call the meeting to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting held May 8th?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bev? Okay, no one wishing to address the board. May I please have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Dan, to you.
Good evening. During your numerous visits to IPC over the last month or so, you've probably noticed the wonderful woodworking projects that are on display out in our lobby. There is a screenshot of all of those projects so our community can enjoy them as well. Students have completed these projects as part of the Advanced Cabinetry and Woodworking class at the Career and Technical Education Academy. And this evening, we have the fine pleasure of welcoming student Logan Kolb. He is the creator of that beautiful dresser that's on the board right now. He's going to tell us more about his project and also the work required, everything that went into that beautiful dresser. So we will invite Logan to come forward.
Hi. My name is Logan Kolb, and I made that dresser. That dresser took me a semester and a half, just about, by the time from start to finish. It was a learning process because you never get to experience the rail and style and the raised panel and the full panel glue up at a regular class for woodworking at any of the regular schools. It was also different because I used a different type of finish, and it was also more of a one-on-one class. So if I needed help, I could go to the teacher right away instead of having to wait for the teacher to help 10 other kids before I could get help. And it also was different because I had 2 hours to work on a project each day versus 50 minutes. Any questions?
Now, how much is it?
It's not for sale right now.
That is a beautiful piece.
It's gorgeous. Todd was gonna try and carry it out and put it in his car one night, and he couldn't lift a corner of it, so it's solid. It's beautiful.
I used to be 6 foot tall, and then, that is a beautiful piece.
What is your experience with doing this type of woodworking before making this dresser?
It was pretty limited. I took Woods 1, Woods 2, and I pure tutored a Woods class at Lincoln. But I didn't really build anything that scale beforehand.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you said you used a different kind of finish on it
Yep.
than normal. What'd you use?
I used a wipe-on poly versus everything else we do out there is brush-on poly. This is a thinner poly that we put on,
Okay.
so it took more coats.
And what kind of wood did you say that was?
It's black walnut top and front with the panels on the sides being poplar.
Right.
Logan, why CTE? You're a Lincoln High student. What made you make that decision?
Well, my sophomore and junior years, I took engineering 1 and 2 out there. And then I kind of would always see the projects in the hallway, and I kind of knew I wanted to make something big. And I just kind of signed up for the class, and then originally I was only there for the first semester, but I changed my schedule, so I was there for all year in the middle of first semester.
Right.
And what about next year? What's your plan?
Next year I'm going to SDSU for Ag and Biosystems Engineering.
So woodworking will just be a hobby of yours?
Yeah.
Very
Well,
cool.
it's
Well, great, thank you
Beautiful
for,
work.
yep, thanks for showing that off. Nice a piece.
Thank you.
Thank you, Logan. Logan is also working on a matching nightstand right now, and he's informed me that he's not gonna take these up to SDSU with him. He's gonna leave these at home, preserve them a little bit, I think, so. Hopefully you had a chance to look at the many projects that we have out there. Extremely talented group of students out at CTE. I continue to be impressed by the things that they turn out there and the talent that they have. Logan, as he mentioned, is going to go into ag and bioengineering. That was after a job shadow with Poet in November, December, right in there. Yeah, so gave some clarity to him and some direction. So again, thank you for inviting us tonight and giving us a chance to share some projects down here.
Beautiful
Thanks,
stuff.
Josh. Good luck next year, Logan.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any conflicts of interest that need to be disclosed? Hearing none, we'll move on. May I please have an approval of the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Move to 11A, supplemental consent agenda claims to Sanford Health.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries with an abstention from Board Member Carly Ryder. Going to 11B, we have a motion for the claims to Avera.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion passes with an abstention by Board Member Kate Parker. On to the reports of the superintendent.
Thank you. We have two reports tonight. The first report is an entrepreneurial mindset report and will be brought to you by our high school curriculum coordinator, Kristen Grenager.
Good evening. Courses in entrepreneurship have been available in colleges for several years and are beginning to move into the high school curriculum. So in the spring of 2016, the middle and high school curriculum coordinator participated in an entrepreneurial mindset course at Augustana University. This gave them an opportunity to learn more about the concepts that could be introduced into the high school curriculum. After that introduction, Augustana extended the same opportunity to 11 students from Roosevelt and New Tech High School. So this past fall, those 11 students spent half a day for 6 weeks in the entrepreneurial mindset course and were able to earn 3 college credits. This student success course inspires and engages students with the perseverance and determination of the entrepreneurial mindset. As a result of these introductory experiences, New Tech High School submitted a proposal to the Curriculum Council to pilot the Entrepreneurship Mindset course and will do so during the 2017-18 school year. The Entrepreneurial Mindset course is focused around 8 life lessons and invites local entrepreneurs to visit with the students about the process, struggles, and successes they experienced as they started their own businesses. The entrepreneurial mindset challenges students to see problems as opportunities, helping them learn to solve problems for others as a viable path towards individual empowerment. The course also focuses on resourcefulness, reliability, community, and persistence. The online course materials for each student run at about $99, but this is an opportunity for 21st century workforce skills that students will need to approach complex problems as they pursue their goals. I would ask that the school board acknowledge the report of the Entrepreneurship Mindset Program. Unless you have any questions.
Any questions?
So what's the path? We'll pilot it for a period of time and then look to roll it out to the other schools or put it into CTE or something to?
Typically, we run a pilot for 2 years.
Okay.
And at this point, New Tech High is planning to offer it next spring. So they have time to build student interest.
Sure. It seems like it'd be a lot of interest for kids to do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully I would imagine in a couple years, we'll see it, like I said, either through the CT Academy or at all the high schools, I would imagine. I can't imagine there wouldn't be a demand for it, but we'll see.
I would think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The students who were involved in the program this past fall came to the Curriculum Council meeting, and their testimonials were inspiring. They really felt like they viewed world problems in a different way and were excited about the skills that they learned in this course and what they would do with those as they furthered their education.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I think 2 things. I think it's a great example of partnering with the community to get them engaged in our students' learning and maybe even their higher education or take credits with them. And then you think about driving through Sioux Falls and you see so many homegrown businesses or people starting, either it's a franchise or whatever. And so to get more of those people as we develop the workforce in Sioux Falls to see this as a place that they want to invest their time and their money and raise their families, I think is a win-win for our community too. So I think it sounds like an awesome opportunity for a high school student who's maybe trying to decide what they want to do and to really get some real world experience. So
And I think the partnership is ideal. When anytime we can bring in people from the real world,
Yep.
it gives even more
Credibility, I think, to that,
credibility
yeah.
to what's being
Yeah.
said, yes, and taught in the class.
Any further questions? Hearing none, may I have a motion to acknowledge the report of the Entrepreneurship Mindset Program?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Thank
Opposed,
you.
same sign. That carries. Thanks, Kristen.
Our next report is a report on the tech integration leaders, and you're going to see a fairly new face tonight and a brand-new face to this board. I'm going to introduce Michael Christofferson to you and have him introduce one of our newer members of the technology department.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Chris Martin in his first opportunity to deliver a report to the board. Chris is the District Technology Integration Facilitator and will deliver the report on the Buildings Integration Leader Program. Chris is closing in on his one-year anniversary at the district. Chris's background in teaching, curriculum, and instruction, while integrating his passion for technology in the classroom, has allowed him to infuse technology integration across our district. Chris works with the staff to allow technology to contribute to the global development and diversity in classrooms and helps develop on the fundamental building blocks needed for students to achieve more complex ideas. He strives to have technology make an impact within the educational system and allows teachers and students to have access to technology in a contextual manner that is technology and pedagogically relevant, responsive, and meaningful to their educational practice, and that promotes quality teaching and active student learning. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Mike. That was a very, very humbling introduction. So it's a pleasure to be in front of you tonight. So the purpose of the report is to update you on the Building Technology Integration Leader Program. This fits our strategic initiative, Priority Area 3 of district staff, and Priority Statement 7. The Sioux Falls School District will support and train staff to encourage innovation and enable them to grow throughout their careers. The explanation: as part of the one-to-one Chromebook implementation, the Technology Planning Committee acknowledged the need for building-level assistance with technology integration in daily instructional practices. To respond to this need, the position of Technology Integration Leader was created. Technology Integration Leaders receive a $500 annual stipend to provide professional development and support for teachers as they integrate technology into daily instruction. As teachers have grown more used to having Chromebooks and iPads readily available for daily use in the classroom, they also have established a variety of ways to support their use of these devices in daily instruction. The Building Technology Integration Leaders are one resource that several teachers find valuable for support in using Infinite Campus and for ideas for using technology in daily classroom instruction. Building principals recruit the leaders from their instructional staff to focus on the following: develop and present technology-related Develop and present technology-related building-level professional development. Provide teachers with technology-related resources to enhance classroom instruction. Train building staff on various software and technology applications. And train building staff on the use of Infinite Campus, Insight, and other district programs. From focus group discussions with principals, a survey of all instructional staff, and a survey of technology integration leaders, the following themes emerged. The role of the technology integration leader is unclear, especially at the elementary level. 65% of teachers responding to the survey knew who their building technology integrations leaders were, and technology integration leaders at the middle school level are most likely to present technology-related professional development during in-service or staff meetings. Technology integration leaders at all levels are most likely to use email to share ideas for using classroom technology. Right now, I'd like to bring some attention to the board. There we go. Whoops. So with the data that you're looking at here, the teachers receiving help with ideas and strategies. We've got the 3 levels of elementary, middle, and high school. And of all the people that are, and I'm going to skip to the next slide, as that's a little more graphic. In orange, we've got the integration leaders at 12%, who at the elementary level, teachers are seeking out to come with ideas and strategies. Roughly 50% are in another category. This is speculation, but my theory is that they're very strapped. In more anecdotal discussions with a lot of the teachers, is that they're very strapped for time. And so usually teachers don't have a lot of time to get out of their room and go to the next area. So usually they'll go to the person who is the closest to them, who can help them with ideas and strategies. And that's at the elementary level. The next level is the middle school level. We see an increase to 22% of middle school staff utilizing the building integration leaders. Again, we're still at that 50% for another category, to where most likely it's people who are in their teams or who are close to them. At the high school level, we've got roughly, and I need bifocals, or I need, we've got 15% of staff seeking out the building technology leaders, and we've got a little over 50% of another category. My guess on this is, through anecdotal discussions with staff, is that with the size of the high schools, sometimes the building integration leaders are geographically on the other end of the building, to where time does not permit them to travel to those locations. And so one of the other higher levels after the other is and for all three levels, is the instructional coaches, but especially at the elementary level. And so they've been a good resource for them for technology ideas and strategies. Moving on, we've got teachers receiving help on Infinite Campus. And to get past the boring number part, we'll get to the actual pie charts here. Here we've got a smaller number at roughly 9%. And once again, we've got another category to where it is well over 50%, close to 60%, to where, once again, staff usually go to their neighbors, especially for Infinite Campus help. Typically, it's a question that they can answer within a couple minutes, especially for newer staff, asking veteran staff. This is the middle school level, where we have a much larger slice at 32% roughly, to where staff are seeking out those integration leaders, exactly how they should be utilized. Again, we're covering close to the 60% mark or higher for the other category. And at the high school level, we've got 22% of building integration leaders being utilized for Infinite Campus use. And so, next year, the district will be evaluating the effectiveness of the one-to-one Chromebook initiative. That study will investigate how effectively the Chromebooks are being used to enhance student learning. In addition, the study will investigate whether there is an opportunity for greater impact on teaching and learning. And I will ask the board at this time, are there any questions? And I would ask the board to acknowledge the Building Integration Leader Program report and welcome any questions that you may have at this time.
Okay. A little nervous. Any questions?
Can you give some examples of what the technology integration leaders are doing at any of the levels?
Sure. We'll go with the elementary level for starters. The big thing is, if there's, I use that because my wife's a kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher. At that level, using integration with smartboards is very key for them, keeping organization in the classroom. So smartboard use at circle time activities is crucial for that. So younger staff will often seek out those integration leaders to help with those activities in the morning, especially it's a very nice managerial tool for them. Mm-hmm. Using multimedia in the classroom is another one, to where just getting started and using those kinesthetic movement through music and the sound systems in the classroom is a good way to help them with that. Okay. Middle school level, high school level, the instructional coaches as well as the building technology leaders are a good resource for using a lot of like science probes, like the LabQuest systems that we have. Other resources online, such as YouTube, is also crucial, especially when you get into flipped classroom areas. So, good question.
Thank you.
So I don't, so I look at it and say, it seems to me when I look at it, based on kind of amalgamating things, is that maybe 80% of people's inquiries or issues or wanting to know more kind of solved through the informal network, right? I asked my neighbor, and probably in my business it's no different, right? I'm going to go ask Ben next door or something, right? And then for the 20%, the hard stuff, I got to call the help desk, okay?
Absolutely.
And so in that case, it may be, you know, they will get on instant messenger, screen share, walk you through things, but there's still that 20%. So I wouldn't say that they're, I guess what you're looking at is it most effective to have maybe someone in each building, or maybe look to centralize it at some point, but I still think there probably is some, there's still that 20% of hard stuff that people are going to somebody to that their informal network can't resolve. And so I take it that's kind of what you're looking to say, what's the most effective way to deal with the 20% that still needs to be dealt with?
Very much so. And the nice thing is that I felt really towards my stride at the end of the last few months here as a resource for those technology integration leaders. And now that we kind of know where we have this path and where we want to take it, it's going to help drive that for next year as well. And so the great part is whenever one of the building integration leaders at any level had questions, I was always there as a resource. 99% of the staff members who responded said that I was there 100% of the time to help them out. And so it was reassuring for my role, knowing that I was a good resource for them and to help guide them for where they should be at in the classroom. So, and you're right, for that 20%, that is crucial, and it is helping with that staff. So we'd like to improve it for next year and push that needle. So
We have a leader in each school, in each building, correct?
yes, ma'am. At least one, oftentimes two or more. Yes.
Okay. Is there any sort of accountability for them as they're, I mean, I know this is sort of, we give them a stipend, obviously, because they're, using their own time, to help other people out, but just wondering if there's sort of any accountability measures in place.
I can't speak for the administration at each building level, but I would assume that, and that's a dangerous word to use, that's probably more of a question for the building and administration to see what kind of levels they have. I know that we've checked in, I tried implementing more online resources for them to check in with. There's a Microsoft product that we've tried implementing. It was more successful at the elementary level, called Microsoft Yammer, and it was an online resource for them to check in with me. And so that was a good way for them to at least report what they're doing in the classroom. Although I have no bearing on, I don't manage them at all,
Right.
but more of a team member.
So if a teacher found an app, or I'm just thinking when we were at the school board convention, I went to an Apple workshop, and the stuff that they were doing was amazing. And they talked a lot about how they could push that out to every device, And so if a teacher had an idea for something like that, would they go to their integration leader? How would that process work? Is that part of this, or am I way off base?
There's actually one, it might be the integration leader who helps with the apps in that building, not always. Sometimes it's the librarians, other staff that are there. But when they go to that person, they say, hey, I need this app. Each building has a certain amount of funds. If it's a free app, they put in an Insight ticket, and then that usually gets centralized, pushed out, which is very, very, I hate to use the term slick, but it's slick on how it works. Good
Any
question.
further questions?
Thank you very much for letting me be here tonight.
You bet. May I please have a motion to acknowledge the report on the Building Technology Integration Leader Program?
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That carries. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.